All right. We'll see if someone can follow us to this link because I had to create a new link.
Are we on now?
Are we on? Can anybody see us?
It's weird.
No, I didn't play it. Didn't play the intro or anything. We'll just jump
cold
right
open.
In and see. Cold open.
It's a cold open.
All right. We'll trial this again. You should have heard the dulcet tones of the play by your countdown timer, but you probably didn't. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Anywho, now it's starting to come up on. I just got a YouTube notification saying that we're on live there. See how many people follow us to the link.
Cold open is good, says Gary.
Right. There he is. All right. They found us. Can everyone hear us now? Yes. Yes.
How many's in the room?
3.
3?
You scared him off.
Can we get 4?
Get 4 in the room.
Yes. Josh Michael says yes. We can be heard.
Awesome.
See, what they don't really they just missed the funniest we've ever been in that few minutes.
Right.
And it's all gone. The magic's gone.
Yes, we cannot achieve that level of humor ever again. In that time, we were just mute.
See, I said, Eric, wiggle your mustache. Wiggle your lip, caterpillar, if you can hear me. And he couldn't hear me, so then I said it again, and he still couldn't hear me. That's funny stuff.
Yeah, we had to create a new link for us, Gary. I don't know what happened there, but I think we're on track now. So, welcome to episode 185 of the Play It By Your podcast. After long...
It's been a while.
Long intro.
Forget how to do this.
Yeah, right.
I apologize. I have a candle that's making me cough. But it smells good, so I don't want to blow it out. So I'm just you have to deal with me coughing all night.
It's like what you have to go to the vet for getting candle cough instead of kennel cough.
I don't know what it is. It's just like itching my throat.
You can give us an old bull hum.
Whoa.
All right. Some of you are following on YouTube. Some of you are following on Facebook. But all of our outlets are up here in our banner at the top. We're social media-wise on Facebook, X, and Instagrams. Like and follow us there, as well as our platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitch, Rumble, and iHeartRadio and the iHeartRadio app. We're all over the place. All right, Chris. Brady recently went to Indy to see Sting, and I have 2 questions. 1, did he perform Englishman in New York?
Yes.
2,
the reggae version. It even hit me harder in the good.
If he did, how many people in the crowd got up and left immediately when he did?
And I'm really not saying this to be funny, Chris. People whoop, when the crowd pops for when a song starts, like it was a different opening and kind of a reggae feel. Then he sings the first line and the crowd's like, whoa! So legit.
All right. So the question is, Mr. Historian, if you were sitting in an arena and Englishman in New York, as performed by Sting,
or anyone.
I know you all can't hear that. I just heard this sound. Gary must have did a like or something on Facebook or YouTube.
We haven't been able to figure that out yet.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm jealous. I'm not a jealous person, but I'm jealous that you can hear that and I can't.
You don't get the full effect.
No.
It's sad. Anyway, Englishman in New York as performed by Sting or Fridays. Which one gets you to get up and leave quicker?
Yeah, I don't think this one's even close. I know we give that song some flack, Englishman in New York, but it's the reggae version was good.
But you're biased.
Yeah, I have a stingy biased.
Well, I was sorry. I was reading a text at the same time you were asking the question. So,
You're sitting in an arena, Sting performing Englishman in New York or the song Fridays as performed by whoever performs that. I use the perform word loosely. Which one gets you to get up and leave quicker? I know what Josh Michael would say.
Well, Friday would probably have me moving quicker because it's a more upbeat tempo song. So I could see me getting up and walking out at a quicker pace. So Englishman in New York is a little more.
Even if you didn't like Englishman in New York, at least you could exit with some groovitude.
Yeah, I don't. Well, you have to remember, I'm a bad one to ask because I don't like Sting's good songs. So
Yeah.
so it's
Well, that's fair.
yeah,
That's fair.
I
That's
definitely
fair.
don't like his bad songs. Well,
Yeah.
I don't like Jessica. Is it Jessica Black? Was that her name?
Rebecca Black.
Rebecca Black. I don't like her good songs either. So
Does she have any?
well, I think that was it.
Yeah. As far as Sting goes solo, Fields of Gold, I think, may be the only one I like.
Didn't you like Fortress Around Your Heart?
Yeah.
Where Love is the Seventh Wave?
No.
We're Russians?
Fortress Around Your Heart. Yeah, I didn't mind that one, I guess.
He played a bunch of his Police songs too. So
I heard someone on the radio.
radio.
No, I heard someone on the radio the other day, and I can't remember who it was that said it, but Sting is one of those artists that was better in the band than as a solo artist.
Yeah. Not
Isn't
to
that
get all.
most people though.
Yeah, pretty much. You
Yeah,
know,
Phil Collins?
We're flirting with a topic right now. We should just shut it down and bring it back
Yeah.
next week in the episode.
but
Well,
Todd,
that's
I will throw this out at you. I'm a Sting and Police fan, and I know he played bass, but I've never seen him live. Sweet Lord, man, he was shredding. He kind of left my jaw dropped at times. I think you
He's
would
a
have been
good bass
impressed.
player. It's his voice and stylings that I don't like. But I'm not a big Police fan either. So
So
Phil
Josh
Collins, that's tough, Eric.
Yeah.
I mean,
As far as Phil Collins goes, I never understood what is the difference between a Phil Collins song and a Genesis song.
I could
I don't see
probably
much difference.
answer that. I think what it really comes down to, it's hard to discern, but there is more collaboration on the Genesis songs, and I think Phil Collins solo stuff has a little bit more pop edge, and Genesis has a little bit more rock edge. Listen to Land of Confusion, then listen to
I think that's good. I was going to say because most of Phil's more ballady songs were by himself.
yeah.
I mean, when I'm thinking of the Serious
fair.
Hits live album,
That's fair.
but and I assume different players. I don't know,
Yeah.
Brady. You probably know. Did he have any of the Genocide players in his?
No, because that bunch split into like Mike and the Mechanics, and
right.
oh, there was another one too.
Well, the others didn't care much for the fact that he went solo, did they? They weren't going to
Yeah.
play with him.
Yeah, they were salty about it. So
But Susudio could have been a Genesis song.
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, but I could see the ballady things. I'll give you that.
We should bring that. We should bring that to the table as a topic.
Phil Collins.
Do you prefer solo or band version? That's what we should bring.
That's fair. I like
Write
that.
that down, Brady.
Yeah, write that down. So when we get on the text, 13 minutes.
I got it.
You got it? All right.
I got it.
All right. We ready to get started?
Yeah, so now getting on to the topics at hand.
Yes.
Peter Gabriel. Oh, God. Don't get me started on Peter
I'm not a Gabriel fan either.
Oh,
I'm not a Gabriel fan with or without Genesis.
I think Peter Gabriel Genesis was Gwar before Gwar. all those heads and things. That was just
Is it
outrageous.
Gwar or Gwar?
Gwar.
Gwar. Fair bear. It's Gwar, man.
The beef and barrel soup.
Didn't take long. It didn't take long.
No, it didn't. Right back in the saddle.
I wish that was as funny to other people as it is to us.
Maybe it is.
The
they
historian
would've
thinks
had
it's
to-
funny.
They would have had to have been there in the basement when it first was brought up. I think that's the only way they would find it funny.
No, the funnier thing was you thought that we were making fun of his name, and that was his real name.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think you necessarily were making fun of it as much as I thought you were just exaggerating it, like we do lots of names.
Until you heard the announcer say Fairbairn.
No, exactly. I thought it was like Fairbarn, like Fairbarn. Fairbairn. I don't think it's spelled Fairbairn, though.
I think it's Fairbairn.
I thought it was just Barn, which is why I thought it was barn. But yeah, he will always be Fairbairn to us.
Yeah, that's what he is in maybe southeastern Ohio. Farbarn. Fairbarn.
All right, it's been a while since we've had a food topic.
Yes, it is.
I'm kidding. It's been about as long as it's been since we've done an episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So take it away.
Well, as I whiz through this here real quick, Eric had sent this a while back as a topic choice, and I think what happens is some of the times we have a hard time remembering if we did this specific topic or if there's just some crossover. And I think this is one where there's some crossover.
Yeah. Can I interject something first?
Yes.
Before you start? Okay. So I help coach baseball at Lynchburg. And Josh won't mind me telling a story on his daughter who plays softball at Lynchburg. So, I mean, they're getting ready to come into practice. We're getting ready to leave practice. We're talking. And she talks to me for a minute and she goes, "Wait a minute. I know who you are. You're on that podcast that my parents had on the big TV and they were arguing about soup."
Yes, that's us.
So I'm thinking of all the things I've done in my 53 years of life for the betterment of humanity. That is what I'm known for.
So do you think that goes right up there with whoever's commented and said about our podcast, 20 minutes of us arguing about coleslaw?
I think it's a comment up on that note.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's like I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. I said, "What else could you argue about? What better things are there to argue about?"
Right. And honestly, we probably agree on coleslaw about as much as we do any food. Eric and I are kind of on the same page of coleslaw. Now, Eric doesn't like the topper, the cottage cheese topper like I like it. Brady won't touch the stuff, so it's very similar.
I'm coleslaw
Eric likes
abstinent.
Eric likes it. I like it to a little bit different level, and Brady won't eat it. That's pretty much how it goes.
I will not eat college cheese in any form or fashion.
Have you ever tried it with coleslaw on it, though? Because, see, that might be the thing, man.
No.
I have a feeling if you did, your ratio would need to be two parts coleslaw, 1 part college cheese.
Okay, so name me any situation in life where there are two white foods mixed together. I don't think you'll come up with one.
Maybe in hell.
That is Brady's hell. If Brady were to die and go down under, that's what it would be.
You're right, that was Brad, Chris. Yeah, I don't think he's listened since the coleslaw. And the thing of it is, that could have been any week because we've talked about coleslaw is about as much as you could possibly. Biscuits and gravy, nice, Gary. Shit on a shingle too.
This is true.
White cake with white icing.
Well, okay.
Truth.
Although, I mean, that's a stretch to call both of them foods. You know what I mean? Like they're a food together.
Yeah. Well, but you could eat both of them without the other.
Right.
But they're better together.
They are definitely.
Right.
So
sorry
this
about
is
that. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. This is a weirdest food trends from the 70's. Ranked. Those of you that weren't alive in the 70's, as I skim through this, I think these are going to be trends that you still, because most of them didn't end in the 70's. Matter of fact, a lot of them are still around. So it says ranked, but then as I scroll down, there's no ranking. So I assume that just means like it doesn't tell me
list.
Right, it's a list, but it doesn't tell me like if the first one is what they're considering the weirdest or the least weird. So we'll start with hamburger helper.
I don't know why they call it hamburger helper. It does just fine on its own.
I didn't realize the hamburger helper had been around this long, but it's preparing a meal for the whole family after a day at work was proving tough for some parents and home cooks in the 1970s. Thank God for the invention of the hamburger helper in 1971, which quickly rose to prominence thanks to its convenience. Each box came with dried pasta and packets of powdered sauce and seasonings, and for a while, American families couldn't get enough. Eventually, the likes of tuna helper and chicken helper hit the shelves, though only the OG hamburger helper remains popular today.
Okay, I want to. I have a problem with something you just said. Are you calling me and Brady old?
No.
Hamburger helper is as old as we are, and you made the comment. Well, I can't believe it's been around that long.
Well,
do you say that about me? I can't believe you've been around that long.
In food years, that's like double.
Yeah. So I will confess that my household, my daughter Reagan still loves her some cheeseburger hamburger helper, and occasionally I will whip some up.
Nothing wrong with it.
I can honestly say I don't think I've had the other hamburger helpers because that's like there's one the beef stroganoff which looks foul, and I might have had the Fiesta hamburger helper once or the chili based one, but it's not bad. It's
well, the one showing here on this picture, it doesn't have all of them, but it has tuna cheesy pasta. That's tuna helper, but it has
tuna
hamburger helper deluxe Philly cheesesteak. That sounds
nothing
good.
can help tuna. There's nothing.
How about did you guys know there was stroganoff, but there's also potatoes stroganoff.
Wait a minute.
It's
hamburger helper potato stroganoff.
Yeah. And then we have chicken fried rice. That's chicken helper. But then they had 3 cheese hamburger helper, double cheeseburger macaroni hamburger helper, cheesy ranch burger. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And cheesy Italian shells.
So
those are the varieties it has on the picture.
So Brady, let me ask you. You made a face with the ranch, and I understand you're not liking ranch dressing. But if something tastes like Cool Ranch Doritos, for example, you can't eat Cool Ranch Doritos.
I don't like them. I don't care for them, and it's not the fact that it's white. I think it just burned in my mind that even though I'm like eating the orange chip, I'm still seeing a white chip in my mind. So that's totally on me. That's totally on me.
Well, that is on you because here's why. Ranch dressing tastes nothing like Cool Ranch Doritos. As a matter of fact, they should name them something completely different because they're not even the same thing. But
maybe
what I was going to
ask on a really cool ranch
along the same lines as Eric. So if you have hamburger helper and it said ranch, what did it say? Ranch cheeseburger. I mean, as long as you don't see the white ranch atop the helper, you wouldn't eat it.
I would have to try it, but I still like the original Doritos better than the Cool Ranch ones. But I
like the sweet chili or whatever. That's my favorite current Dorito. That's sneaky spicy. Like you eat a couple, you'll eat it not having a drink, thinking you'll get a little cocky, and you're like, I think I can handle this. And then a few of them, and you're needing a drink.
I just had an alliteration flashback, which has nothing to do with any food. He said sneaky spicy, and I thought of sneaky snake, Brady. Todd, were you aware of the sneaky snake?
No.
Is that Tom Stafford?
No. The blacktop playground in elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah, they the snake they painted on the blacktop, and they said don't go near the sneaky snake. It was out by the road.
Yeah, because there was a road or a man in a white van or something up there. The snake kept you away.
That was an after-school special, wasn't it?
Yeah. I have not partaken of any the poultry helpers, but can I ask? This is going to sound odd. what was a weird trend about it? The fact that the meal came contained in one box?
Yeah, it doesn't really say. I mean, that's only the first one I've looked at in depth, and it doesn't really say what was weird about it. But I'm guessing, yeah, just the fact that I don't know. I think it's. Do you think it's one of those things where people have been combining noodle to meat for decades and decades and decades, and finally somebody just boxed it and come up with a catchy title and made money?
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess the only thing weird about it is the little hamburger helper dude was digitally challenged. He only had he the little glove guy didn't have enough fingers. That might be a little bit weird.
He didn't. I can't see close.
Yeah.
Three fingers and a thumb.
Yeah. He couldn't get angry at the chicken or the tuna helper and flip them off because he had no middle digit.
Now, I don't mind some tuna helper. I don't mind some tuna helper, but
I mind tuna helper greatly.
I've never had chicken helper. Like Brady said. All right, let's move on to something a little more interesting here. I've never heard of this, so maybe you guys have. Grins and smiles and giggles and laughs.
As a food?
Released in 1976, Grins and Smiles and Giggles and Laughs was a Ralston cereal brand special. The lore was that Cecil, the robot figure on the box, would produce this cereal whenever someone made him laugh, or more accurately, grin, smile, giggle, or laugh. Grins and Smiles and Giggles and Laughs were known for putting prizes within each box, such as joke and paint books, often with paint included. At 72 cents a box, this cereal was a steal, but unfortunately, it didn't stand the test of time. They were discontinued after a year.
Okay, so here's the deal. First of all, it was cereal, so I wasn't eating it. And there would be no grins, giggles, or laughs if Brady's poking the cereal with a fork.
That's true,
so
yes.
That's true.
That ain't happening either.
But how bad of an idea is that they put paint in the cereal?
That's
It's the 70s. Of course.
Yeah, well, that's what I was cracking up about, Gary. It's like, so every time that this robot became amused, it had cereal fly out of an orifice. You know, it was
Eric,
like,
is there a way you can pull up a picture of maybe what? Because I want to know what the cereal morsel looked like. I want to know what the shape of it was.
Okay, tell me the name again.
Grins and Smiles and Giggles and Laughs. Ampersand on all those ands, by the way. So I wonder if, like, it wasn't kind of like, I don't mean to be gross, but like progressive, like explosive diarrhea, like how much cereal came out of the robot depending on if he grinned or if he laughed. Well, here's they should have had another called like cringe, smirk, squeeze, and cry or something like that. Guffaw. No, my problem with it is grammatically it should be grins, comma, smiles, comma, giggles, and laughs. Actually, giggles, comma, and laughs, because I am a fan of the Oxford comma. But never would we say grins and smiles and giggles and laughs. That seems like it builds up like grins and smiles and like it progresses. Yeah. Right. And not only that, but here's the deal. Why wouldn't it be, since it produces cereal whenever it does any of these things, why wouldn't it be grins or smiles or giggles or laughs? And how? If all of them produce the same result, and that is him birthing a cereal chunk. It's a strange concept. And I was a cerealophile, and I cannot recall that one. I can remember them all from, well, it was Frankenberry, and we were 5 years old. Well, donuts. Actually, Eric, for your hatred of cereal, that's where I first tried the donuts. Cereal was at your house, and I'm spared my mother the expense of buying it because I tried them and didn't like them. Is that right? Yeah. Huh. You probably fell victim to the singing donut commercial and thought they would be grand, but they were pretty not good. They're donuts. Delicious. Remember? Yep. Have you found it? Is this cereal elusive? I'm still looking. It's elusive. We'll find it. You want me to go on? Go on, and we'll keep on. Go on, and I'll
I'll come back around here.
All right. Next on the list, we have Kugel. Kugel. Introduced by
Kegel?
Kraft. Koogle. Introduced by Kraft in 1971. Kugel was a peanut butter spread in the same vein as Nutella. The goo's unique selling point was that it didn't make your mouth stick together the way regular peanut butter did. It came in 4 flavors: chocolate, banana, vanilla, and cinnamon. Yep, there's Kugel. So, with the help of its alien mascot shaped like a tub of peanut butter with 4 eyeballs, messy blue hair, and a giant K insignia, Kugel was a huge success with kids. Unfortunately, it was axed towards the end of the 1970s, marking the end of the tasty era. So what did they put in it to make it not more oil? To make it more slippery?
Well, it's probably one of those things that Monsanto pushed that caused children to be born with 3 legs and things like that. But it went the way of Olestra, where it just lubed everything up too much and went flying out.
Yeah, nothing stuck.
Yeah.
So, but who knew there was a Nutella long before Nutella?
I had no idea.
Well, I guess
And
the
once
difference
again-
is it just calls it chocolate peanut spread, not hazelnut.
The banana
Well, I
one
guess it's
sounds
chocolate
intriguing to me.
hazelnut.
I bet that
Yeah.
banana one tastes like the 70s because I bet it's an artificial banana.
Oh yeah. I think the cinnamon one would be good on a piece of toast.
Yeah, that might be good, man. They need to bring it back.
Bring it back. All right. Next we have
All right,
Mug. I'm sorry.
Hold it. Oh, I got to share here. I'm going to try to share. All right. Can you see that? Can you see the screen I shared?
Not yet. Nope. Sorry, man.
Sure.
Karen Enlow just sent me a picture of the giggles and smiles thing I could show you.
Hold her up.
Okay. She just sent it, and I was just able to look down. Okay. Here we go. It is from. Oh, there you go. There you go. We got a commercial.
Uh-oh.
We got a commercial.
Are we going to have to pay the grins and smiles and giggles and laughs people? Are they
I
still
don't know.
around?
They may.
If something makes me laugh,
Hope this isn't dirty.
I make my cereal grins and smiles and giggles and laughs. Part of a nutritious breakfast. These bozos are going to try to get me to laugh up some grins and smiles and giggles and laughs. The deliciously sweet, crunchy, corny cereal that smiles back at you.
Yeah. That's disturbing.
That's a nightmare.
Thanks for
So-
the crunchy cereal that smiles.
So he produces it boxed. That's relieving.
Can we can we go back to the beginning and try to figure out why his ears are in front of his eyes?
Well, so I think
go
we
back
had it
to the very
wrong. I think we thought we were going to be dealing with a whimsical robot, but this looks like a grump robot that's only
It's a
going to
madman.
giggle and smile against its will, and you have to make it like it's going to withhold its cereal from the world unless you entertain it and make it laugh or giggle.
Eric's gone. Eric was so bothered and disturbed by that commercial.
He's off to giggle and
opted out.
laugh.
Did you notice his
Hopefully,
ears though?
cereal's not flying out of him.
So the back part of his head had his eyes, and then he had a snout, and on the sides of the snout were his ears.
I don't know. It's got to be some kind of wild technology. It's auditory meatus is misplaced because the cereal's got to fly.
And now we're all gone.
Now we're back.
Are we still live?
I think so.
All right. Let's not watch a video again on with this platform.
Yeah.
That's
Probably shouldn't do that again.
Are we? Can people hear us and see us? Can you see our pretty faces?
Mr. Heron, I just see you checked in.
Hello, Mr. Heron.
Yes. Yes. Chris says still live.
All right. All right.
Okay,
Phew.
good deal.
All right. Next up, we have Mug O Lunch. Instant noodles were flying off the shelves, leaving Betty Crocker no choice but to launch their own version in 1977. It was called Muggo Lunch, and it came in 4 flavors: macaroni and cheese, beef noodle, chicken noodle, and spaghetti. Simply add boiling water. Portions were great, which spelled the beginning of the end for the Muggle Lunch. Oh, portions weren't great. My bad. While they would satiate a small child, adults required at least 3 of these things for it to count as a complete meal. And who wants to pour boiling water 3 times? At this point, you may as well make some real mac and cheese. So this was basically like a quick mac and cheese before microwaves.
I could see this line dance going, and instead of to the tune of White Lines, and it's going to be lunch line, where gangsters, thugs, and Mugga Lunch are thoroughly respected. It just flew into my head.
I remember Mogo Lunch, and I was a child, and I needed 3 of them. So
I don't like eating pasta out of a coffee mug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're going to stain up your mugs, so then you got to have separate coffee mugs to separate pasta mugs because you know you're going to stain them all orange.
So this one didn't come with a container; it just came in a packet, and you had to put it in a coffee cup. Yeah, and there's probably I'm not a coffee drinker, but I bet there's coffee film and aftertaste in the mug that would like
taste like coffee spaghetti.
Yeah, pass
spagolfi.
Confetti.
Coffee.
Wasn't he the president of Libya back in the day? Next up, we have another cereal, gentlemen. So Brady, Sir Grapefellow cereal. Released by General Mills around 1972, Sir Grapefellow cereal, that's hard to say, flew too close to the sun, but what a dazzling flight it enjoyed. This grape-flavored cereal came with actual marshmallows. Marshmallows for breakfast? Children never had it so good. Unfortunately, Sir Grapefellow tasted like trash. Saturated with a grape flavoring that resembled cough medicine and with an overpoweringly fake and strong grape odor, it was only a matter of time before this cereal flew off the shelves for the final time.
It almost looks like dastardly.
It is. Or Snoopy
has no mustache. Now, what they didn't mention was his General Mills compatriot, Baron von Redberry.
Oh,
nice.
Look at that. See, I love grape, but I don't think I want my cereal grape.
Yeah, that's pretty sketch. I could get behind Baron von Redberry. It's probably a strawberry flavored one, probably with a light, nice heaping helping of red dye, number 5.
Okay, I know we have discussed this before about flavors that they tell you are something but don't really bear resemblance to the actual thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think grape is among the most egregious of those.
Yeah.
Grape flavoring does not taste like grapes.
Once again, it's what Monsanto told us grape should taste like.
Exactly.
I don't know why I'm picking on Monsanto. It just kind of like
watermelon.
Now, we all remember the next one, Snack Pack. In 1968, Hunt's released the Snack Pack in 8 wonderful flavors: Nanner, chocolate, vanilla, and butterscotch. Hang on a minute, that's only 4.
there was tapioca.
Tapioca without eyeballs.
And I think there was pistachio flavor too.
A pudding for your kids immediately with no fuss or muss.
Does it actually say muss?
No.
No.
Sorry, I don't know why it tickled me so much.
Because I could see it in my mind. Muss or fuss or muss.
And they were portable. These things were a godsend for any parents in the 1970s. The trouble was that the sharp metal lid on the cans were incredibly dangerous. Within a few years, they were replaced with a more child-friendly can. This was then replaced by the Snack Pack Jack with his pudding can-shaped cap. By 1984, these became the norm. So I don't remember Snack Pack Jack. Do you?
No.
I mean, they still have snack pudding packs, don't they? They're in the little
Yeah.
plastic things with.
Oh, okay. So here is the original one. I know what it means. So let me find that can. There we go.
Snack paddywhack. I still got my snack pack, Jack.
Yeah, the snack pack looks suspiciously like cat food, or like the container.
Right, but you'll cut your lips off.
Cut your tongue off.
Yeah, Gary says a snack pack Jack sounds like a drug dealer. I think snack pack Jack is the guy in the van just across from the sneaky snake.
Snack pack Jack out back selling whack.
Selling smack. Crickety crack.
Snack pack Jack smelling smack, crack, and whack out back.
So butterscotch was one of the original flavors.
So that can get you twice though. You open it, and of course you got to lick the puddings off the lid.
Oh yeah, you gotta
cut your
tongue punch that
lid. Lid pudding is the best pudding. Can we all agree?
Agreed.
Lid pudding. Put it in the isms. I don't want it on no spoon. I want the lid pudding.
Fight with your siblings if you got the lid pudding.
That really sounds like it should be pornographic.
Or German lid pudding.
So there was chocolate, there was Neller, there was chocolate fudge, as opposed to chocolate. There was butterscotch. So that's 4 of them. I'm not feeling the other ones.
What, banana?
Oh, banana. Yes, there was banana pudding.
I bet it didn't have a wafer in it. If it had a nilly wafer in it, then it would be worth it.
Yeah.
So
tapioca was one of them.
Crapioca. I like tapioca.
Yeah. Well, the snack packs are still around. Of course, they're in plastic.
You just peel the lid.
Check out that nastiness.
It does have the eyeballs.
Oh.
I like me some tapioca though.
The fish eyes. There's fish
Get
eyes.
some eyelids. Sorry.
No, the can get you twice. They get you on the lid when you're licking off the pudding lid, and then you lick on the inside of the can. It gets you there too. But no, the shelf life of that stuff. I mean, you don't have to refrigerate it. It just sits on the shelf at the store.
I bet you could plop out one from 1970 and it will still be puddingly goodness.
Puddingly
goodness. But here's the thing, though. If it wasn't coated, if the inside of the can wasn't coated with that, you know what I'm talking about? Like that coating, then it would taste like the can. The pudding would just taste like the can.
Now, the off-brand tasted like can. Just like the off-brand sometimes tasted like box. So you got to be careful.
So you said it was best in the can.
Well, it's good. Okay, it's good in the can, but the off-brand had an aluminum taste.
Yeah.
A metallic tang to it.
That probably back in the 70s, that would have been before there were such things as off-brands, right?
I don't know, man, because I think the offensive, it was like a Cracker Jack knockoff, and that's the one that tasted like cardboard. It just you reached in and it was this.
Brady, did you find a picture of Snack Pack Jack?
Oh, I didn't look it up.
I want to see what Snack Pack, because he supposedly has a pudding can shaped cap on.
He sounds suspicious too.
With the pudding lid or without the pudding lid?
Yeah, is it open or closed?
He's sporting
so my problem with snack packs, and this was I thought this long before it was actually featured on King of Queens, where Doug eats the snack pack and then like 3 bites and you're done and you're just depressed and want another snack. There's not enough pudding in them.
No.
It takes 4 to 5 of them to even begin to kick in.
Well, Jim, this is one of those things. If someone comes into the middle of the conversation, they don't really know if it's snack pudding or something triple X rated.
I'm looking for the mascot. I'm having a hard time finding him.
Well, I'll keep going while you're looking for time's sake. This next, I'm torn on this next one. And I didn't know that it went back. Actually, I never thought about how far back it went. Tiramisu.
Yeah.
Tiramisu. It's a pretty old dessert, but its modern incarnation has been attributed to pastry chef Robert Linguinata of Le Becherie in Treviso, Italy. In 1968, he mixed espresso, mascarpone. Is that how you pronounce that? I know it's a type of cheese, isn't it? Eggs and marsala soaked ladyfingers, changing the world. And ladyfingers always bother me. It's the name of it. Like that sounds like something that like Jack the Ripper ate. Like what? Who eats ladies' fingers?
I shan't touch that one.
Tiramisu took the 1970s by storm. It remains popular today, though the experience will vary wildly from restaurant to restaurant. You are more likely to get a cheapened version using sponge cakes and cheap alcohol in, say, Olive Garden, and the majority of 1970s home bakers weren't aiming for five-star cuisine. I don't usually go for the tiramisu, but every time I've had it, it hasn't been that. It's been okay.
Tastes too close to coffee.
Yeah, and I don't like coffee flavor, so
it's the espresso, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot find an image of Snack Pack Jack.
I looked too. I don't think Snack Pack Jack existed. If he's not on the vast internet plains.
What is the stuff sprinkled on the top of tiramisu?
Chocolate shavings.
Is it chocolate shavings or is it cinnamon?
Cinnamon.
Like, you know, when they like rake it in, like a cheese grater, but the chocolate doesn't go into little links. It does that little curly Q thing. That's what it is.
I might have to call you out on this, Brady. I want you to look it up because I don't think it's more fine than that.
Okay.
I don't think it's that, sir.
Okay, I'll check it out.
That's fine. That is either cinnamon or what's the other stuff that's like what do you put in like pumpkin pie?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I don't think that's shaved chocolate. That's awfully fine shaved chocolate.
Yeah, you're right. I'm tiramisu topper.
What is the stuff that you put on Celia, if you're still listening, I know you know what it is. What do you put on top of pumpkin pie? Not cinnamon, but
nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
Oh,
is it nutmeg?
Yeah, I think it is nutmeg.
Oh, what is that powder on the top of tiramisu? Coca.
Well,
so it's yeah, it's I can see that more than the shaved chocolate.
Coca.
So it's not nutmeg.
Yeah, it's coca
Next
powder.
Up, on our list, we have zucchini bread. Zucchini bread. Have you ever grown zucchini? Chances are, if you have, that you'd found yourself with an abundance of the vegetable after a certain point of the season. What do you do with it all? Well, you can make zucchini bread like everyone else in the 1970s. Thanks to its subtle taste, zucchini was right at home in the cake, helping not only keep it moist, but also healthy. It and carrot cake and banana bread were all considered breakfast and after-school snacks that you could eat with a clear conscience. I like all of those. I like carrot cake, I like banana bread, and I like zucchini bread.
You know, I think one of those is not like the other. I would not put carrot cake with zucchini or banana bribs.
I agree.
Banana bribs would be my first choice.
First off, one of them's called a cake, and the other two are called brebs. And I think
carrot cake has icing.
That. Right.
Carrot cake has icing. The other two don't.
So is that the difference between a bread and a cake? Is one has icing, one doesn't?
I don't know what decade that zucchini started being okay for people to eat and like stir fry into things, because I didn't know what you did with a zucchini. I don't want to call anybody out, but my mom would like get them from people at church, and we'd have these zucchinis laying around, and I never knew what happened. I thought they were decorative like gourds. And
they were just
I didn't know what was done with them. And then I knew zucchini bread existed, but that was pretty far down my pecking order. I'm a Swiss cake roll kind of guy. Zucchini bread is going to be like down the block a little bit.
I thought you were just using to scare your cat.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I want to know. Who was the first person that saw that zucchini laying there and thought, I'm going to make me some bread out of that thing?
Exactly. How do you come up
We
with
got
that?
50 of them. What do we do? Can you make bread out of it? Make bread.
Bread.
Now, okay, not to get all social studies geeky, but there's something called breadfruit that was grown in the South Pacific, and it looked like even an even bigger zucchini. And they would boil, they would just bake that black on the outside on an open fire, and then when you cut the black part off, they said it had the consistency and taste of breads. That they were gonna. That's why Captain Cook went to Hawaii. He was bringing back breadfruit plants from the South Pacific to put in the Caribbean.
Breadfruit plants. Breadfruit plants just sounds like somebody looked around the room and just named the first three things they saw.
Yeah, kind of like
breadfruit
plant. What are you chortling about, Eric?
First three things I saw.
All right, next up, we have space food sticks. Space.
Was that at a Grateful Dead show?
By the good people at Pillsbury. Manufactured by Pillsbury in the U.S., space food sticks were actually developed as a snack for the Apollo space mission, meeting government requirements for adequate nutrition and everything. The downside was they tasted like straight up dog food.
Dog food.
Pillsbury went back to the drawing board, added extra flavor, and released them again in 1971 after Aldrin and Armstrong walked on the moon. White Wings began selling the sticks in space-age foil, adding to the astronaut lore and making them a huge hit.
So, some space sticks with a side of tang.
Oh, man, you beat me to it.
Oh!
These things look like Slim Jims, but sweet. There's a chewy caramel, chewy orange, chewy chocolate, chewy. They're all chewy.
Chocolate.
They're all sweet. No, they're all sweet. That's what they are.
Okay.
See them? But they look like Slim Jims, Slim Jameses, and
Svelte James.
There's the orange.
Orange.
Oh.
I didn't realize that orange was a flavor back in the 70s. I mean, I usually like orange creme flavored things.
Speaking of which,
there you go.
Orange creme Coke.
Yeah.
So Tang. There's another overrated beverage. Didn't taste like box, but
it was like, but okay. I'm going to tell you a story, and it's going to sound made up, but I swear it's true. I was staying at my grandmother's house, and she was making up some orange drink, and I thought she'd made me up some Tang, so I was getting ready to grab it and drink it, but she said, "No, don't drink that," because I thought it was Tang, but it was actually her orange Metamucil. I dodged a bullet there.
Give you the green apple splatters.
Oh man. Anyways.
All right. Next up. I've never had this. Fondue.
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 Never been to the melting pot?
No, I've almost gone several times. I just saw Celia's question. Was it really space food or just marketing? According to this, according to the lore, it says it was actually developed and made for the space mission, the Apollo space mission, and because it met government requirements for adequate nutrition and everything.
Adequate. She told me not to drink it. I was staying at her house. She probably didn't know what was going to happen next.
Fondue remains popular at ski resorts and certain restaurants, but in the 1970s, it became a bit of a craze. What was not to like about a big bowl of melted cheese served with fresh breads? Nothing, that's what. This communal pot brought people together, literally. Fondue has been popular in Switzerland since the early 1700s, but struck a chord with Americans after it was promoted by the Swiss Pavilion's Alpine restaurant at the 1964 World Fair in New York. If you lived in a colder state during this time, you probably had fondue.
Fondue.
There's a lot of pop culture references. That was a default wedding gift in the 70s, early 70s. You got somebody a fondue set, which
Is it
looks
one of those things
suspiciously
people
like
actually
crap.
used?
Yeah.
I'd like to go to the melting pot. I've always heard it's not worth it, but that might be.
I've
It's
never
an
been either.
experience. I've been once. I left hungry. The dessert stuff was good, but I did leave hungry. But it's about the experience, I guess.
Next on the list, pasta primavera.
Primavera.
It's a fancy name, but it's quite a simple dish of pasta and fresh vegetables. It grew popular in the 1970s after appearing on the menu at Le Cirque, a New York restaurant helmed by the head of chef Sirio Mattioni. The pasta, usually served with flat tagliatelle noodles, is tossed in butter, cream, and cheese before being combined with fresh veg. It caused quite a stir in Manhattan when it was conceived of, and soon after, families began making this easy dish in the comfort of their own homes. I've never had pasta primavera. I've heard it. I've heard of it.
Sounds like something Schwann's would sell.
Yeah.
Along with her chicken Kiev. Schwan, man, if you're not bringing me those ice cream bars with the gold Schwan on the chocolate outer layer, I don't want to talk to you, Schwan, man.
the gold Schwan. Was it a gold Schwan or a gold
It was a gold
Swan?
Schwan. It was a golden Schwan.
See.
Did you ever have those ice cream? It was
yeah.
the vanilla ice cream with the chocolate coating and then a gold Schwan stamped right on the side of it. It had a golden Schwan on the side of it, of all things. I swear to you, fellas, you had a golden Schwan on the side of it.
I tell you.
So Gary sent a link with a picture of Snack Pack Jack.
Uh-oh.
But I'm afraid to share the picture. I'm afraid it'll send us into a tizzy again.
I'm afraid. I'll text you what I'm afraid it'll be.
Me TV.
Oh, hey. Karen Enlow comes through with the save again in our listener. Here, I have a
Sent you a text
picture.
what I thought it might be.
Here you go.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Man has a lot of facial hair. I can't quite tell where his facial hair starts and his actual.
And he is wearing the pudding cup on his head. It looks like he lives under a bridge, and until he boils his water. You know what I mean?
I think they didn't even give him time in the advertisement division of that. They didn't give him time to color him in. He looks like a, you know what I mean, like a coloring book that hasn't been colored.
That was a quick rollout.
Yeah.
Hey, we got this food. We need a mascot. Quick, draw one up.
All right. This next one's a favorite of mine. I didn't realize they came out in the 70s. Fajitas. You can't move for fajitas today but back in the 1970s, what? You can't move for fajitas today, but back in the 1970s, they weren't anywhere near as popular as they went on to become. This Tex-Mex cuisine really took hold in the mid to late 70s as diners were happier to broaden their horizons. You can tell that we don't look ahead and proofread this because I would read much better and try new flavors and cuts of meat. Fajitas were the perfect gateway meal into a broader horizon of flavors.
Gateway meal.
Strips of grilled beef or chicken cooked with bell peppers and onions, served on soft flour tortillas with sour creams, salsa, and guacamole. What's not to like?
Don't want no whack-a-mole on my fajita.
Still one of my favorite things, a fajita is.
Yeah,
I like
it's
them out
not
sizzling.
fajita. If I was just say, if it's not brought out to you hissing, it's not a fajita.
Yeah, if everybody sitting at other tables doesn't go,
Yeah,
it whizzes by the head, afraid it'll get popped by the fajita juice.
cool. Yeah. Oh man.
This is interesting. We had a lengthy conversation about something like this here a while back. Black Forest Tort
Tort.
had existed in Germany for decades before it hit the U.S. in the 1970s. But when it did, oh boy. Let's just say that fewer cakes have gone down in food history as well. It's basically a chocolate cake layered with whipped cream and covered in maraschino cherries and chocolate shavings. There's your chocolate shavings, Brady. The fun didn't end there either. The cake was then doused in Kirsch, a clear liqueur made from sour cherries. Making one of these back in the day would get everyone running to the kitchen. Today, you can find them ready-made in most grocery stores. So it's a Black Forest cake.
Yes.
There it is.
Well, the
I
Black
still haven't
Forest
had
cake
one.
Needs cherries.
I need
Right.
to run to. I need to run to the Amish down the road and see if they've got. We've just got to try one. We got to take.
Well,
the
make sure
plunge,
that-
man.
Make sure it has extra Kirsch in it.
So what's the difference between a tort and a tart?
One is an A and one is an O. Sorry.
One rhymes with court, and one rhymes with fart.
I'm not sure if I've had either a tort or a tart.
I've had lemon tarts before.
What's a tart?
I've had the lemon tarts.
What is it?
Okay,
A tart. I know. So you can help me on this.
Here we go.
I've had a lemon tart is like a little lemon Danish, isn't it?
I've got it.
Go ahead.
I've got it. You ready? Well, both
Skin that smoke wagon.
I'm your huckleberry. While both tort and tart are related to pastries, a key difference is that a tart typically refers to a dessert with a single thin pastry crust filled with fruit or other ingredients, while a tort is a multi-layered cake, often with a richer texture and potentially including nuts, breadcrumbs, and usually something more elaborate.
Good to know.
There we go.
I need to know if I'm having a tort or a tart. So yeah, Jim says call Betty Ford Crocker. Todd is doing Gateway Foods.
Betty Ford. Gateway Foods. Todd is all okay?
Yeah, Todd. Todd.
Give me a second.
Okay. So Brady, is there an inside joke here? Are you fond of the word folks?
I think he's referring to my alleged and incorrect blasphemy, blaspheming me of saying the F word.
Not incorrect, but I understand the reference now.
But now Tart Day, I remember, and legit, gosh, this is so lame to even say this out loud, but I always packed my lunch. I did not care for school food, but when tarts were offered, I don't even care if it was stewed tomato day. If tart was on there, I would eat that tart. I would.
I don't remember tarts being offered in school lunch.
It's because you were walking home to lunch.
Well, that's
You
true.
weren't partaking.
I wasn't walking home until like 6th grade.
Okay. And it was even in its own little individual tart tin.
Tart tin.
Yeah.
It was like little pies, though.
Yeah, it was a little pie. It's exactly it. It's
But
like my
a little,
own personal pie.
Personal pie. Heavens to Murgatroyd, your own personal pie. Is a personal pie a tart?
Well, it's even more than
I'm back.
it's like,
Like a bull in a china shop.
yeah.
Smooth. It was a smooth transition.
Smooth.
I'm back, gentlemen. Everything's cool.
Everything's cool. Everything's cool.
I heard some soundry I had to go check out. I thought I was alone in the house. Apparently I'm not.
Ooh. Ooh.
There we go. He's back.
Did you guys finish the talk about the
Tart? Yes.
Torts and tarts, yes.
All right. So after the Black Forest tort, we have cheese balls and logs.
What?
Balls and logs.
I'm scared.
That sounds like a men's underwear store.
What the word
Husky.
cheese is
Like
in front of it?
Husky men's. Is Eric broken? It says there were lots of fads from the 1970s that are explainable today, and cheese balls were one of the best.
Oh.
The idea of forming cheeses into balls or logs by rolling them in a tight covering of plastic wrap and covering them in toppings was all the rage during the dizzy decade. Most cheese roll recipes called for the use of soft cheeses, which were then meshed together and formed into a funny or whimsical shape. The ball or log would then be rolled in black pepper, herbs, and possibly even nuts. Nuts! Served with crackers. It didn't get better than this. I'm a sucker for a cheese ball.
I love whimsy in my cheese balls.
I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of them covered in nuts or the green, like the onions, the green onions or whatever.
Yeah,
or whatever the. But I love me some cheese ball, and I love the shaved ham or whatever you use in it. The
best thing about the Christmas season is the cheese ball.
Have I ever told you about the Christmas the cheese ball catastrophe at my house?
No.
Are you sure? Okay. So I had a beloved dog named Odie, who was a black Labrador Retriever.
Oh my Lord.
And 6th or 7th grade, my mom was making Christmas cheese balls for an event at the church. So she was making one for the home and one to send someplace else. And she was working in the kitchen, and she turned around. She's like, I swore I made 2 of them. But she started wrapping up the one. She turns around to see my lab, Odie, looking very innocent, like, who, me? And he was black as night, but his face was smeared with white cheese and all the coverings of it. So Odie, he would get too warm in the house, so he had a nice spot in the garage during the winter where he preferred to sleep out there. Well, on Christmas Eve morning, I opened up the door to take Odie to conduct his commerce, and he had already conducted said commerce in a liquefied miasma of mess because he ate the entire cheese ball. And it's like -5 out. I had to open up the garage door and hose out the garage. And you could hear the dog, just like if you can imagine the cartoons. He was walking by like going, oh, oh.
Odie was a menace. I know you loved Odie.
Curb your tongue, Dave.
Odie had the worst dog flatulence ever.
Oh,
I can only imagine what came out of him. That
Oh.
smelled like when he ate that cheese ball. Todd, did you know Odie?
I don't think I knew Odie. Was Odie ever around for the Shogun battles in the basement?
No.
Or the Axis and
no,
gone by
he
then?
would have passed by them.
Okay, I think
But-
Odie was before my time.
Yeah, but he was something. He was a poorly behaved dog, but now we know why. And let's just say that he had not gone to the vet to get tutored. So
We talked about this earlier, so here it's on our list. It's carrot cake. America knew she had a weight problem even in the 1970s, and that's a strange way of putting it. And so introduced a dessert that could be tasty and healthy at the same time. The result was carrot cake. The result,
Cake is not
of course,
healthy.
This wasn't healthy at all, thanks to all the sugar applied into it and the cream cheese icing. The carrot cake was actually first invented way back in the late 16th century. Which country it originates from is still up for debate. Some say England, some say France.
I say Russia.
Some even say Switzerland. All we know is carrot cake was a big deal in the 1970s. I'd never heard of it until I became an adult, I don't think. I don't think it wasn't customary.
It was not a kid cake.
No.
It wasn't customary confectionery in our family like it.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, even today, do you ever hear of kids saying, "Man, I want a carrot cake for my birthday"?
You're right. You don't. Odd thing about carrot cake is, to me, it's best served chilled. It's better cold than it is room temp or hot or warm.
Have you ever seen those obnoxious carrot cakes that have like the it's like a candy Garen, but it's a candy Garrett, and it's on top of it, like you're trying to fool us.
Candy Garen.
Candy Garrett.
Actually, it should be a Gandy Corrit if we're being consistent.
Have you seen those ones that they'll be at like checkout aisles and they'll have like carrot cakes that are so tautly wrapped in cellophane that there's no way to open the cellophane without losing half the cake?
Exactly. Yeah,
I think the best thing with those is just eat
gone.
You just eat the cellophane. You just think that's the best way to consume them.
I imagine somebody poking those with their fork and the whole thing just go like into a powdery abyss. Yeah.
Just shoots a carrot out and hits you in the forehead. Next up, I know we've talked about these Jell-O salads. Yeah, look at that one. That one's gross. That one looks like. Not only is it Jell-O salad, which is gross, it also looks like fruit cake, which is gross. It also looks like that little candy, the little pale candy that has the red
grandma
green
candy
chunks in it. Americans have always had a fondness for Jell-O, but the Jell-O salad, it's a whole different ballgame and pretty disgusting in retrospect. The mixture of savory ingredients suspended in gelatin did not, as you might expect, cause people to push their plates away in disgust. Home cooks really took a shine to Jell-O salads, including aspic, salmon, and even cheese within the gelatin confines. Others played around with locks. Others played around. With shapes, making donuts and loaves with the stuff. With the rise of nutritional information, the Jell-O salad was cast aside.
Okay, so I have a very distinct memory as a youth in the 70s where Tupperware was a big thing and people were always hawking it. One of the things that they were hawking was a Jell-O salad mold that would make it look like a bundt cake, but because it was Jell-O, it looked very sphincter-like, and it was nasty. And it was like, but like, oh gosh, salmon and Jell-O. Like, okay, I'll play along. What flavor Jell-O would remotely go with fist?
Lemon.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
might be
maybe.
right there.
That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, orange. I mean, something citrusy. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I've ever had lemon Jell-O.
Lamangelo?
Oh,
yeah.
Is he one of the Ball
Orangelo?
Is he? I think that's one of the Ball brothers, Lamangelo Ball.
Lamangelo,
Orangelo, and Chirigelo.
Lamangelo. That's funny. Hawaiian cuisine. This one's got Brady written all over it because the picture is some communist pizza with some communist pineapple atop it. This wasn't a single dish, but rather a single fruit. When the pineapple appeared on plates in the 1970s, mainland Americans approached it like the monolith in 2001: A Space Odyssey. What is this? What does it do? Is it a threat to my existence? No, it wasn't. It was just a nice, sweet addition to a lot of meals, including chicken and most famously pizza. That's right. The 1970s may have given us Martin Scorsese and disco, but it also gave us the dreaded, polarizing Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah, I still like it, but our friend Doug, his mom, he said when she discovered you could put pineapple in pizza, she wouldn't do the chunks, she would do the crushed pineapple. And as a pineapple and pizza person,
Ew.
no.
What about rings?
Wings.
That'd be a bit
I mean, I don't-
much.
I don't like it, but I could see rings if it were a big pizza, maybe some stuffed crust.
Yeah.
Maybe some. What about that, Brady? What about stuffing the crust with pineapple and cheese?
Daggone. If the historian is still listening, dude, can you get one of those Giordano pizzas? Do they come with pineapple in them? He was goodly enough. I got to give major props to the historian. He brought me back a Chicago pizza from Giordano's, like, where they send it, where you could just put it in the oven. And that thing was flipping amazing. I really hadn't had a true one. And it has so much darn cheese in it. There's like you said, there's like a half pound of cheese in each slice.
They don't put
Our
any
audience-
nasty ass pineapple on their pizza.
Oh,
Our
I don't know.
audience is quiet. Do we still have anybody with us? They're not chiming in.
They're just mesmerized by us.
Well, I will say this: if I am going to have pizza with pineapple, then it's a must that the pizza has ham on it, because that's the or pork.
Pork.
Because that's the I've had like a lot of pulled pork with pineapple chunks floating in it, like to flavor it. And I know ham also ham benefits from the flavorings of pineapple.
Do you want to know my craziest pineapple pizza thing? I don't mean to shout out a specific franchise, but I just got a whim one day, and I got a calzone with pineapple, but not the regular sausage, but the Italian spicy sausage. That is a very it works. It doesn't work on paper, but it works. So there.
Not for me.
Well, I will say this: I poo-poo the pineapple on pizza a lot, but I at least understand. I understand where people are coming from.
Yeah. And I'm not hot. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's not hot. Like, I like my bonsai burgers with the teriyaki pineapple and
Danielson.
yes,
Bonsai?
it just work. But it's got to work in the right set. I'm just not throwing. I'm not getting a Wendy's bacon cheeseburger and throwing a piece of pineapple in it. That's not going to work.
Right.
So
Did you guys finish Cobra Kai?
I haven't started yet.
Oh my goodness, Eric,
I
did you finish it?
haven't even watched season 5. What
Oh
season
my
are we in?
goodness. Okay.
I'm way behind.
Moving on. I remember these guys. Toast witches.
Just what?
Toast witches.
Meow meow
Not-
freedom, meow meow witches.
Not toast witches. Toast witches. Toast witch. Toast
I'm
witch.
not being
Toast
crass. I thought you
switches.
said toast wenches. And that's why I was like, pardon me? Like toast witches. Okay.
Toe switches. Toast makes everyone happy, and it is one of the most beloved foods besides maybe bread itself. It is one of the very few snacks that have transcended multiple generations. Toast witches were no different back in the 1970s. In an era of fancy pineapple dishes and fondue, these were a breath of fresh air. Examples of this came in the forms of Betty Crocker's sausage and maple syrup flavored French toast witches, grilled cheese toast witches, and pizza burger toast witches, which were not the best, admittedly. You can find these things in the frozen aisle of any grocery store to this very day.
Stay. Interesting. I'm trying. I don't know.
I don't recall.
I'm not familiar with the type, like the actual name of it. I know different products that are like that, but as far as the Toast Witch brand, I don't recall. Everybody there? No.
Yeah, I've seen variations of these. I don't know that I remember. These are Betty Crocker. The picture of these look a little thin. They look a little pancake-ish.
Betty Ford Crocker.
To me, did these usher in the hot pocket?
Hot pocket.
I mean, I think they would have. This would have been like a gateway drug to the hot pocket, I believe.
Yes.
Brady, next on the list is your favorite.
Ooh.
I'm going to say the term, and I'll allow you to say what you call them, but only if you say it correct. Sloppy Joes.
Unkempt Jose.
Unkempt Jose.
A must Joseph.
A pigsty yo. Sloppy Joes are folkloric at this point. Still popular, though maybe not as much as they once were. I don't know. You think they've lost popularity?
You don't hear about them as much because everything is like pulled pork barbecue now.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's shredded, more shredded than the burger, than the ground.
And
Yeah.
let's be real clear. It had to be in a manwich can. Back in the day, Sloppy Joe really wasn't Sloppy Joe. It was a manwich.
Right. Well, I think most people I don't know if my dad still listens to the podcast. My dad he did and still does. He does Sloppy Joes and pulled porpoise very well. But it seems like much like Sweet Baby Ray's is used to doctor up a lot of. It seems like my dad used manwich, but that wasn't like that was just a
Seasoning.
it was
It
an
wasn't the whole
ingredient.
sauce.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, you didn't just dump it out of there and serve it to you. It says these indulgent buns take a lot of Americans back to their childhoods, to a time when they could. Oh, hang on a minute. That was just a text that Celia sent me. Sorry. Talking about my indulgent buns. To a time when they could eat any old thing and not have to worry about love handles. Hunt's Manwich Original Sloppy Joe sauce was invented at the tail end of the 1960s and became a smash throughout the 1970s. Tomato sauce mixed with minced beef and piled into a hamburger bun. A complete doozy. No family household stood a chance. They should call them sloppy doozies.
Yeah.
Where did the Joe come from? Like, where did the name of this come from?
It's probably some dude that would always get hammered at the tavern, and he always wanted to order one, so it became Sloppy Joe. Here comes Sloppy Joe again. You know, get him the Sloppy Joe, you know.
Not to be confused with the loose Miat sandwich.
I forgot to tell you guys. It
was
finally
that?
happened to me. It slipped.
A video popped up. I was scrolling trying to find our.
One of our in-service thing or like parent-teacher conferences from the first 9 weeks, we got some barbecued pork, and
I know about this.
I said the pulled porpoise was great, and I got a lot of confused looks.
Oh, never mind. That's something else.
In mixed company. Yeah.
I think Eric had a story about something. I thought I was getting the Eric story mixed up with the Brady story.
Yeah, there was a food poisoning.
That's rough.
Yeah, I won't go into detail.
Exactly. Campbell's Chunky Soup. I believe we talked about this several weeks back. Campbell's Soup. You've had it either on your shelves or you've seen it repeated 100 times over on the walls of an art gallery. Andy Warhol may have put Campbell's tomato soup on the map in the 1960s, but the Chunky Soup was all 70s. Debuting in 1971, Campbell's Chunky Soup was marketed as a meal in a can, or soup so chunky you'll be tempted to eat it with a fork.
And our birth year was a great year for food.
Right. Processed food haven.
You had the option of chunky chicken, beef, turkey, or vegetable.
Vegetable.
Do you remember it being marketed where the hamburger chunks were supposed to be shaped like little hamburger patties with grill marks on them?
Yes.
Are you remembering that?
No,
I am. That was like the level up chunky, they had a name for it. It was not the regular chunky, it was like the home style chunky.
Home,
yeah,
I was going to say home style. I think the thing that I would like to look at a list of this from every decade because it would be cool to remember what it was like before these things. Because most of these things, like I was already in existence, or these were already in existence when I came about. So it would be neat to know. So before Campbell's soup or before Chunky soup, what'd you eat? What kind of soup did you eat? What kind of canned soup did you eat?
Probably just good old Campbell's chicken and noodle, chicken and stars.
No, but before Campbell's even.
What was there canned soup before that?
I don't
Or was
know.
that the first canned soup?
You know what would be a fun topic to do on the podcast? Take anything, just one thing. So Campbell's soup, and do a whole bit on the history of it, what came before it,
So
the
do they
difference.
still put the word condensed on Campbell's soup? Campbell's condensed soup? That seems like something that would not be palatable to this day and age.
I don't
Well,
know.
they still sell a condensed soup in the smaller cans. You have to add water to it, right?
Okay. But, yeah.
All right, next up we have cup noodles. I always thought it was cup of noodles or cup o noodles. I didn't know it was just called cup noodles.
I thought it was
just-
cup-o noodles.
No, it's just cup noodles.
Well, there's a Mandela effect thing. I thought it was cup-o noodles.
So
Yeah.
so it's like you got your plate noodles, you got your pot noodles, you got your frying pan noodles, you got your
Sack full of noodles.
sack noodles.
Got to put it in a container. We got cup-o noodles.
That's not O though. It's you got sack noodles, bag noodles, box noodles, bowl noodles, plate
Okay.
noodles.
But I think we're getting confused. It was cup o soup.
Oh, yeah.
Which was also Campbell's, correct? Campbell's cup o soup.
I believe so. I don't think cup noodles were Campbell's though, were they?
Probably-
These were invented in Japan in the 1950s and traveled across the Pacific to the States in 1971.
Hey,
Cup noodles have sold over 40 billion cups since their debut.
Jeez.
That's over 5 times more than the population of the planet.
Dang, man.
hey.
It's so it's kind of like a ramen kind of thing.
Cup noodles. Yeah. Except ramen are in a sack. A sacket. They're sacket noodles.
Yes. It's a wedge, a
block.
pallet o noodles.
Brick. It's brick noodles.
Yes. That comes
This
later.
next, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this next one right or not. Alpen.
Alpen?
Spell it.
Alpen.
What is
I'll
it?
read it. Americans go crazy for a good bowl of cereal, but they're usually in the danger zone health-wise, thanks to high sugar levels. Think Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Frosted Flakes. These are some very tasty, but nevertheless harmful foods to be eating every day. When muesli entered the chat, things changed. Alpen cereal was created by one of Weedebix's board members after he tried Swiss muesli on a family ski trip. Launched in 1971, Alpen was a revolution in the health-conscious 1970s and remains popular today. It just looks like, it's like a
Flakes and nuts.
A big
Yeah.
steaming bowl of muesli.
it has to beat grape nuts.
Oh God,
Those things are those things are
that's
knockout
dangerous,
fillings.
man.
Yeah.
That mucilix, it's such a, I know it's ethnic, it's from your, but I always thought it sounded mildly like a disease, like you got a case of the mucilix, and that hard X in it, just like mucilix, just not appetizing sounding. Didn't look good.
Okay.
Looked too healthy.
Yes. So leave it to Gary. Gary comes up with the answer. The Google machine says the product was originally called Cup O Noodles in the United States, but was officially renamed just Cup Noodles in 1993.
You gotta wonder why.
Yeah. Cup
Maybe
O
it was
Noodles
offensive
is
to Irish people.
And I have a problem with the term cup noodles because it should be cupped noodles. Don't you think? Or noodle cup. That would make more sense.
I think the list of things that can be cupped is very slim.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
think
but like
noodles is on that list.
if I hand you noodles that are in a cup, they are cupped noodles, just like plated food. You know,
Who says that
They aren't-
though?
Yeah,
True.
you say, "Hey, could you grab me a plate of?" You don't say, "Could you please give me some plated foodstuffs?" And I would like it to be
Right, but you might
plated
say, "Hey,
rice.
has your food been plated yet?
That's true.
Have your
Absurd.
noodles been cupped lately?"
Well,
And why do you have more than one noodle? Let's see here.
I've given you
Alvin,
my opinion as to what can be cut.
you texting me?
Yes.
Sparkling waters. Who wants plain old tapped water? Tapped, not tapped, tap water. It's like cup noodles, tapped water. Not the Americans. Not in the 1970s, they didn't. For better or worse, this decade saw the birth of sparkling water, and we've been sipping it ever since. Not me. None is more popular these days than is it Pierre?
Perrier.
Pierre brand? Perrier, that's right. See, that's how little I drink it, which has been a mainstay for decades. Drawn from a spring in southern France, Perrier was rolled out across the U.S. in the middle of the 70s. It was already a huge hit in France, but the green glass bottled water became a status symbol for a lot of well-to-do Americans or aspiring members of the middle class.
LaCroix, Perrier, and Pellegrino. It all tastes like Alka-Seltzer. You ever seen those video clips of people giving their dog sparkling water?
No.
And like this chihuahua goes in, like it's like, and his heart's gone. It's like hitting his face. It's hilarious. I mean, I wouldn't do that to a dog, but it's pretty funny.
To me, sparkling water tastes like Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's gross. It's gross.
I've never had Alka-Seltzer.
Really?
I can only imagine.
Well, puff. What's the thing? Not puff, fizz. What is the
Flop, flop, fizz, fizz.
Plop, flop, slop, plop, fizz, whiz.
Plop, plop, fizz.
Like plop
fizz,
and plop.
fizz and fizz.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Not plop, flop, whiz, fizz.
No.
California rolls.
Jim, I'll leave that to somebody else. And just in case you're interested in going out with a business, cuppednoodles.com is available for purchase. You can purchase that domain, Todd.
Wow.
I can?
Cuppednoodles.com.
Uh-oh.
Interesting. Gary, you should buy it, man. You should buy it. You should start selling cupped noodles. Cupped noodles.
Cupped coffee.
Yeah. We don't say cupped coffee or bold cereal.
BOLD or BOWLE? I think Muslix is bold cereal.
Yeah. California
yogurt.
Today's sushi is one of America's greatest multicultural success stories. But did you know it was first picked up in the States around the turn of the 1970s? Of course, it wasn't traditional sushi like we enjoy today, and more closer to a middle-class American's idea of sushi. The California roll was made in a normal maki roll with nori or seaweed before being filled with such ingredients as cucumber, crab, and avocado. Lots of chefs have claimed to have invented American sushi, but the honor likely goes to LA restaurant Tokyo Kaiken. Tokyo Kaiken sounds like the final boss you had to beat in like a you know what I mean, like the Kung Fu game on Nintendo.
All I can think of is I gotta try to do the voice. California knows how to sushi. California. Anyway.
Tokyo Kaiken.
It's the old thick tongue effect.
So, how many foods from the Far East have Americans bastardized? Egg rolls, sushi. What else?
General Tso's chicken is very Americanized, I'm told.
I will say that I like California rolls. I don't eat real sushi. I like that kind of sushi.
There's sashimi where you get the hookworms.
Boys and girls, we have our first fast food
Ooh.
staple on this list, the Egg McMuffin. This was not so weird nowadays when for millions a regular morning commute isn't complete without picking up an Egg McMuffin or two. But in the 1960s and 70s, McDonald's was more of an evening option for customers. The idea of a burger first thing. Until 1972, of course, when I don't know if it says Mackey D. It's not Mickey D's, if that's what it's supposed to say. Dropped the Egg McMuffin and revolutionized the way we view fast food first thing in the morning. This perfectly round fried egg, topped with bacon and American cheese on a toasted English muffin, is a classic for a reason, and it's hard to imagine a cold Monday morning without it. So I guess what they're saying is like it was the kind of the first fast food breakfast sandwich.
Wonder why they didn't call it the McEgg muffin.
I don't know.
So their unique shaping of the egg is more revolutionary than the muffin itself. It should be the McEgg muffin.
You know, you can get an Egg McMuffin with the yellow egg McDonald's has.
I did not know that.
Yeah, if you don't like the round disc, the egg disc.
Egg disc.
Because people would have been going, McEgg!
Yeah. Maybe I'm helping out our listeners out there. If you don't like the frisbee egg, you can get the yellow egg, like that comes on the like the steak or the what are those things called? Or the bagels.
Yeah.
They're
How
like
do you
the
ask
yellow...
for that thing?
Huh?
Like I don't want the egg disc. I want the.
You just say I would like an egg muffin with the scrambled egg or whatever they call it. Like
The egg white.
Yeah. They don't have for a while the Egg McMuffin had the egg white Egg McMuffin. They don't have that anymore. I think because people realized that all the terrible things we heard about eggs for years was incorrect.
Untrue.
Eggs is a superfood, people. Snapple. I've never been a Snapple person. I never dipped my toe in the Snapple tub.
Was it from the 70s? I thought Snapple was a 90s thing.
Do you know where one of the, if not the first mention of iced tea ever came from? Naples. As early as 1823, I'll never pronounce this name right, Marguerite, Countess of Blessington, wrote drinking a cup of iced tea in the Italian city. Some 200 years later, we're all Marguerite. Launched in 1972, Snapple was one of the first iced tea brands to go toe-to-toe with the likes of Big Soda on the topic of health benefits. Snapple was and remains known for some incredible advertising campaigns and the real facts inside the bottle caps.
See, I'll bet Snapple was like Coors beer and what's that other beer? Like you couldn't buy it all over the United States because there's no way it started here in 1972. I'd give you early 80s, but not 1972 in Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Snapple, Crackle, and Popple. I don't think I've ever had a Snapple.
I have. I think. Shoot, seems like I had a. It was like one of those flavored teas, like a strawberry tea or a kiwi tea or something. There wasn't anything else in the case at the convenience store, so I tried one. It was okay. It's okay.
The Brett Michaels Troparaca. That's good Snapple. It's the only Snapple I'll drink. Created on The Apprentice.
A favorite of mine coming up, gentlemen. Pop Rocks.
Don't eat the Pop Rocks and drink Coke. It'll kill you.
It'll blow out your colon.
It won't even make it to your colon. It'll blow the roof of your mouth out. No childhood was complete without the experience of going to a shop with your pocket money, buying some new candy that pops in your mouth, walking outside, trying said candy, and then telling all your friends about it as though you've just discovered sliced bread. Pop Rocks had this hold on the youth of America when they went on sale in 1975. Kids loved that crackling sound and tingly feel in their mouths. These treats were made by trapping carbon dioxide inside sugar crystals. When you bite into one,
two things great for you.
The gas escapes the sugar and makes a popping noise. This was genius, though.
It was.
When you think about it, it's not the taste of them.
No.
I don't think anybody likes it. I don't know that anybody could tell you what the taste of these things are.
It's the
Some of them
feeling.
had stronger taste than others.
Right, because you're too busy. The best thing to do with Pop Rocks was you make a bowl with your tongue.
Yeah.
You gotta get it shaped like a prehistoric, like the archaic Indian food bowls. You gotta get it. You gotta get it nice and round, because you can't have it slopping over the edge of your tongue. You had to keep it right there in the center.
Had to rip the paper, dump it on your tongue, and then you couldn't close your mouth because your head would explode. So you had to and then you could hear it.
You walk around to all your friends with your tongue out going.
Yeah, I think we all saw people make mistakes and do it wrong, and their head explode. I think we all saw that. Do they still make this?
I think they do. It still exists. No, the big competitor I remember actually before the actual brand Pop Rocks was Cosmic Candy. That was available at Katie's Delicatessen. So I saw Cosmic Candy before
Cosmic
Pop
Candy.
Rocks.
Katie's.
Gosh, I can smell that place to this day. It's a good smell. You know what I mean? You smell that old wooden floor.
Oh yeah.
Cigarette oaks and bologna.
If I could find a candle, Katie's Delicatessen candle. The floor. I mean, like the floor was. It was the hardwood, but it was it was the nary wood planks, and it just it had a feel to it. It gave, and took. It gave and took, and it was dusty but clean. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Yeah.
It had a sheen on it.
It did.
Brings back.
Oh man.
I feel sorry for anyone who didn't get to experience that. All right, so fellas, we're at an hour and 36 minutes. This list is way long. Do we want to go to something else? Do you have a game? Do we have another topic?
I say carry on with it.
I mean, we can go to
the great topic. It's a great topic.
The next one is one of my favorite cereals. Now, Brady would probably ruin this cereal by trying to stab it with a fork. I'm talking about a little ditty called Golden Grahams.
Golden Grahams.
Grahams, yeah.
Did you know about half of Americans eat cereal for breakfast every day? Battle Creek in Michigan is even known as the cereal capital of the world, as it's home to two of the world's largest cereal manufacturers, Kellogg's and Post. What are the chances of two giants in the cereal world being in the same small Michigan?
It is odd.
Yeah. Golden Grahams arguably helped those stats. Released in 1975, they were an instant hit with children's and adults. In 1978, Woman's Day posted an advert that suggested Golden Grahams could be mixed with nuts and eaten as a snack without milk.
Meat.
Miltless Grahams. I like the miltless Grahams. Now, okay, I know my use of fork is well documented, but especially a Golden Graham, because it'll get soggy real quick and it'll get floppy, like somebody removed an epiglottis, like a
floppy Graham.
Yeah. It's got to be a crunchy Golden Graham is the way to go. Nobody wants a soggy Graham. I don't think.
I like them. I like them when they get just a little bit of play in them. I like a little bit of play in them. I like a little malleable.
Little English in it. I never knew.
I like it to thwop. I like a little thwop in it. Just a little. Thwop. Jelly Belly. Boston isn't just the home of Mark Wahlberg and John F. Kennedy. The Athens of America also invented the humble yet extremely popular jelly bean back in 1861, when confectioner William Schraft sent them to soldiers during the American Civil War. When it comes to branded jelly beans, look no further than Jelly Belly. Introduced in 1976, these beans were made from natural puree, with flavors ranging from grape, green apple, root beer, and cherry. Today, there are more than 50 different kinds. I would say that's low. I mean, since you come out with all the nasty ones, the puke flavored ones and the booger flavored ones.
Yeah, earwax. That I can't even read that one without gagging. It's just awful.
Who had to taste these things?
I know.
Could you imagine, like, your job is you're in charge of making the earwax jelly belly jelly beans taste like real earwax? Because
that gave me the
somebody's going to
shivers.
eat them. Well, somebody's going to be like suing you because they eat earwax and they're like, this doesn't taste like the earwax I've eaten.
Well, it's pretty subjective. Like, there's the vomit flavored ones, and like it depends on who's eating and who's vomit. I mean, is it after a night of carousing or is it after the stomach flu? That's pretty subjective.
That's what I was going to say. Does earwax differ in taste from person to person?
I think it's pretty universal. I mean, I think if you were to go to the, Hong Kong, China, London, England,
England.
I think
earwax.
Earwax is earwax. It's going to taste the same. Next up, boys, we have the Mississippi mud pie.
It has to be said like that.
Right.
Right after you drink that
Mississippi mud pie is a rich chocolate dessert made with layers of cake, pudding, biscuit, ice cream, whipped cream, and liqueur. Put all that on a cookie crust.
I didn't know there was
Biscuit.
biscuit in it.
There's biscuit in it. Put all that on a cookie. That should have been a commercial for Mississippi mud pie. There's biscuit in it? There's biscuit in it.
I think it should be said slightly different.
Does it got biscuit?
The emphasis should be on pie. Mississippi mud pie.
Mississippi mud pie. Or I like Mississippi mud pie. You got to give the Mississippi mud pie.
There you go. We have a winner.
Mississippi mud pie. So this mud pie was originally linked with the southern states, but is now enjoyed throughout the country and beyond. The name itself is derived from the dense cake that resembles apparently the banks of the Mississippi River. Hopefully it tastes much better than actual mud. I always figured it had something to do with this looking like mud. The mud and the blood and the beer.
Yeah.
There it is, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a ho-ho.
You need a dab of vanilla ice cream atop it.
Looks like a King Dawn.
Mississippi King Dawn.
Oh man.
Granola bars is next. Do you remember these as a kid? I don't remember granola bars until I was like,
yeah.
I remember when they came out, and I remember my dad got some. It's like, oh, it looks like candy. I'll try that, and it tasted like tree bark.
Yeah, it tastes like he just wrestled a woodpecker for his dinner.
Yeah.
Granola, then granula, was invented in New York by Dr. James Caleb Jackson at the Jackson Sanitarium in 1863.
That tells you all you need to know. You gotta be nuts to eat that. You are what you eat.
Consisting of sweetened whole grain products crumbled and then baked until crisp. Over 100 years later, the same mixture was turned into bars. Nature Valley created the first granola bar, and they mass-produced the heck out of it. Sitting down and wasting time eating breakfast in your home was suddenly a thing of the past. Customers can now take their breakfast on the go. What an innovation.
On their way to the next stop of the Grateful Dead tour.
All right, everybody proposed with one of these back in our day, guys. The ring pop.
Yeah.
Something seismic happened in 1971. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was released in cinemas. Kids had always been into candy, but this took things to the next level, leading to the movement of interactive candy. The goal was to create something to be experienced as well as enjoyed. Manufactured and released by Topps. I didn't know that.
I didn't know either.
T-O-P-P, the baseball card.
Baseball cards, yeah.
Ring pops were jewel-shaped candy rings so large that they could actually hurt your hand. The good thing was they lasted for an age, so you really got your money's worth. Ring pops came in fun flavors like cotton candy and bubble gum. I like ring pops.
Yeah,
but there was something about when you were done with a sucker, even if you still had sucker on stick, you could throw it away and didn't feel bad about it. But when you had those attached to your finger, you didn't want to throw them away. So you ended up wearing it much longer than what its usefulness was.
It would attract stickiness and ants and flies are in her hand.
Right. And uncles. I mean, I don't remember like I don't remember ever finishing a ring pop.
Well, there was that nubbin of plastic that kept it on the ring pop, and if you weren't careful, you'd chip a tooth.
I think you chip a tooth biting into a ring pop anyway.
Yeah.
For the hardest candy, other than the Jolly Rancher rocket.
And that was a different thing. It was hard and chewy and meld your teeth together.
How do
pop is
how
like
do any of
pure
us
quartz.
how did any of us have teeth left after eating those things?
I don't know.
All right, I'm going to skip a couple here. We have a few minutes before we finish up. Frozen yogurt, boring.
Froyo.
Blue Nun.
What?
Is that wine?
Yeah.
Blue Nun can be used as a punchline these days, but for a while there in the 70s and 80s, it was the talk of the town. David Bowie and Rod Stewart drank the sugary and fruity wine like water. It was rock and roll. It was to rock and roll what Monster is to MMA, basically. Following the Second World War, this German beverage became insanely popular throughout the UK and the US, probably because it was sold for the same price as some red Bordeaux wines. Blue Nun's popularity peaked in 1984 when annual sales in the US exceeded 1.25 million cases.
Dang. It's a lot of nunnery.
Blue Nun in Muscatel.
Get thee to the nunnery. So was the Blue Nun before like Strawberry Hill and like Boone's Farm and all that? Was it like $2 Chuck?
Cooler.
Yeah, your alcohol go-tos in the 70s. Blue Nun, Muscatel, and Mad Dog 2020.
Muscatel.
Made with fresh musk.
All of which had to be drank from a paper bag, a brown paper bag.
At the VFW dance.
I've never heard of it. I've never heard of Blue Nun. I would like to know someone who had a bottle. Do they still sell it?
Oh, I bet
It doesn't say.
I bet it's the same like where Guns N' Roses wrote about Night Train. I bet it's all that like Mad Dog, Night Train, Ripple, Thunderbird.
That's a great song, by the way.
Yeah.
Chicken tikka masala.
Oh, I loved it.
That sounds like something Brady would eat daily.
Don't
go traveling through India looking for a bright orange bowl of chicken tikka masala. This is very much a hybrid invention of multicultural Britain. Emerging from Anglo-Indian kitchens in the 1970s, the chicken is marinated in yogurt and spices, grilled and then served in a creamy tomato gravy.
Ew.
Forget fish and chips or a Sunday roast. Chicken tikka masala routinely comes out on top in the list of the UK's favorite dishes, and for a good reason. Plus, over in the States,
Not that
the likes of New York's Murray Street, this remains a favorite. I will say it looks pretty good.
It's excellent.
Tomato and gravy should not be in the same sentence.
It's a tomato paste.
I think gravy is a form of
gravies.
I think it's kind of like it's a form of matter. I think that's what gravy is. It's a measurement of matter. You know what I mean? Like if you can turn tomatoes into gravy, then gravy, as we know it, is not gravy. Gravy is just you have solid, liquid, gas, and gravy.
I'll have to add that to my science class when we talk about it.
Because what can't you turn into gravy?
Well, there's plasma too. Plasma is in there.
True. Yeah.
Einstein's gravy theory.
Yeah, we got to put this one up, Jim. My daughter came home from college and told her mom that she found a really good wine. Turned out to be Boone's Farm.
Fine wine.
Did you guys let her think that she like discovered it? Like that you didn't know anything about it?
No, tell her to go to like a fine steakhouse and order some Boone's Farm because it's really up
at Jeffrey's.
Yeah,
Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill, please.
I found my dream on Strawberry Hill. With some
Eating some Mississippi mud pie.
Hey, wait! I only smell 4 Mississippi mud pies. You can fool old Ray.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Man.
All right, so we can wrap it up. We can save this for. It said 30, but I swear we've gone through 30 by now. Yeah, let's save this.
After the rough start, man, this was awesome.
Well, it's funny because this has a lot of foods we've touched on, but then several we haven't.
Man.
Jim said, "Oh no, we teased her for days."
Tell her to be on the lookout for some nice apple pucker, James.
All right. Well, we thank everybody for sticking around with us. It was, as Brady said, a rough start, but brought it back around. A good episode. Again, find us on all these platforms above our heads here.
We
Facebook.
had to knock the dust and the crust off.
Right. Facebook, X, and Instagrams are our social media platforms. If you'd like to listen or watch the show, you can watch on YouTube, Spotify, Twitch, and Rumble. You can listen on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio and the iHeartRadio app, and a lot of different places you can find audio podcasts. We're there too. Gentlemen,
so we've talked here recently that we may be moving to a new night for a couple months.
Yeah, we have discussed that.
Yeah, so for our listeners, look for us on Sunday evenings, maybe coming up here real soon.
Yep.
So maybe a nice closer to your weekend, kickoff to the week ahead.
A Sunday fun day.
Sunday fundy.
Sunday fundy.
Same bat time.
Same bat
channel.
Easy.
Oh, choked up. Yeah, I must have smelled your candle.
All the way from here?
All the way from here.
The candle is named, by the way, Autumn Romance. I think that's the problem. You're not supposed to smell it alone.
And it's not autumn.
Right. That's true.
Maybe it
You
doesn't
go from autumn romance to spring fling.
All right. Somebody take us out.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we